Trajan, when the largest city on Earth ran like a machine. AD 113, the Roman Empire has reached the peak of its territorial power. From the cold frontier of Britannia to the Sahara Desert, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to Mesopotamia, every road leads to Rome. But this story does not follow the emperor's footsteps. It does not follow senators, generals, or victories. It follows an ordinary person, someone unknown, someone who left no statue, someone who lived one full day in the first city of humanity that could truly be called a megacity. Before dawn, Subura exhales before the sun opens its eyes. It is not yet light. Rome is already moving. In Subura, the most crowded and noisiest district in the city, the apartment blocks known as insulae stand pressed together like stacked wooden boxes. 5 stories, sometimes 6, sometimes higher than the law allows. Inside a 4th-floor insula, the nameless man wakes. His room is only large enough for a wooden bed frame and a straw mattress worn thin. No window facing the street, no running water, no kitchen. Walls cracked like spider veins. The floorboards creak and snap whenever someone walks above. The whole building exhales a tired groan, like an old creature forced to carry too many lives. Fires in an insula are not rare accidents. They are constant risk. The lower levels may be stone, but the upper levels are wood. A small spark, a toppled lamp, a secret cooking fire, enough to turn the entire block into a furnace. The man descends a narrow staircase. The stairs stink of urine. There are no toilets on the upper floors. Chamber pots are emptied through windows onto the street. If you are unlucky, you receive the entire burden from above. The streets are still dark, but the sound of wheels has begun. The law forbids freight wagons from running in the daytime to prevent congestion. So night and early dawn belong to ox carts, to wheels grinding stone, to drivers shouting into the dark. Rome never sleeps. Subura thickens with metal clanging, beasts straining in harness, people setting up stalls. The nameless man steps into that flow like a grain of sand caught in a cyclone. Morning, the baths of Trajan, where a man becomes Roman. The sun rises. The man walks toward the baths of Trajan, one of the largest complexes of the age. The baths cover tens of hectares. Entry is cheap. 1 quadrans, the smallest coin. Anyone can come. Slaves, craftsmen, merchants, even senators. The man hands over the coin. He gives his clothes to the attendant. A small anxiety always remains. When he leaves, will his tunic still be there? Inside is another world. A gymnasium. Men exercise naked. They grapple, lift stone weights, play ball. The body here is not private. It is public property, owned by the gaze of others. Then comes the chain of heated rooms. Tepidarium. Warm. Caldarium. And suffocating heat. Frigidarium. A cold pool that stabs straight into the lungs. Beneath the floors is the hypocaust system. Furnaces kept burning constantly by slaves. Heat runs under the tiles, turning the whole structure into a gigantic thermal machine. The baths do not only clean the skin, they clean identity. Here, people trade news. Who is being sued in the Roman Forum? Who got promoted? Who is rumored to be taking bribes? Who is sleeping with someone else's wife? Rome tells stories about itself in steam. Late morning, the Roman Forum, the center of all sound. As the sun climbs, the crowd pours into the Forum. The Forum is not merely a square. It is where politics, religion, and commerce are compressed into a single mass. Lawyers shout to overpower each other in the Basilica Julia, a building more than 90 meters long. 4 cases can happen at once. The crowd cheers as if watching Gladiators. The nameless man comes here as a witness for a grain contract. Rome has no modern notary system. A contract requires 7 free citizens as witnesses. Amid roaring voices and the dust smell of stone, a transaction becomes binding. He passes the Temple of Saturn, where the treasury is kept. He passes the Rostra, where speeches once ignited civil wars in the time of Julius Caesar. In the Forum, words can become blood. Noon, Trajan's market. The empire eating itself. Hunger pulls the nameless man toward Trajan's market. More than 150 shops across multiple levels. Fish from Ostia, spices from Egypt and India, wine from Greece, olive oil from Hispania. Rome is not only a capital, Rome is the redistribution center of the world. The man eats lunch at a thermopolium, a hot food stall. A bit of stew, sausage, bread. Rome consumes around 400,000 tons of grain every year, much of it from Egypt. That shipping flow breaks, Rome starved. That is why the emperor distributes free grain to around 200,000 citizens. Keep people fed, keep people quiet. Afternoon, Roman Colosseum, time spent in blood. The amphitheater holds 50,000 people. The seating is strictly tiered, senators near the arena, commoners higher, women and slaves higher still. The fights begin. A Murmillo, heavy armor, large shield. A Ridger, almost naked, net and trident. Blood spills. The crowd weighs fate in its throat. That day they spare him. The roar rises like thunder. In Rome, violence is organized. It is entertainment, policy, and pressure valve for a megacity. Dusk, dinner without a kitchen. The nameless man returns to Sabura. There is no kitchen in his room. Fire is a danger. Dinner is bread, cheese, olives. If he wants something hot, he must go to a tavern. Taverns are thick with gambling, prostitution, brawls. The rich return to private domus with inner courtyards. The poor share thin walls and shared breathing. Night, the city as a trap. No streetlights, no modern police. There are the vigiles, the fire brigade. Night belongs to thieves. A corpse floating in the Tiber is not rare. The rich travel by litter with guards. The port walk and freight wagons flood in again because the law allows them at night. Wheels grind stone. Beasts strain. Men curse. Rome at night is not peaceful. It is only more dangerous. Midnight. The first blueprint of urban life. At midnight, Rome is still operating. A city with sewers and aqueducts, yet still full of waste on the streets. A city with baths where everyone is equal in steam, midnight, yet inequality outside is dizzying. A city that gives free grain and kills people for entertainment. And somehow, it keeps running. The nameless man lies back down on the straw mattress. The wheels outside continue. Rome chews time. Tomorrow will look like today. And 2,000 years later, many modern cities still run on the blueprint Rome first tested. Crowded, unequal, mass entertainment, dependent on supply chains, and a vague feeling that we belong to something bigger than ourselves.